Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good Chodesh Tov. We are learning Mishnah Yevamos, Perek Tesvav, chapter 15, Mishnah Hey, Mishnah 5. Okay. Achas Emeres Meis, Vachas Emeres Loy Meis. Two women come forward. They're both married to the same man, or they both were married to the same man, or we're not sure. Achas Emeres Meis. One says he's dead. And based just on what she's saying, she should be believed to say that she can remarry. However, the achas, her co-wife, Omeres says, Leimes, he didn't die. Okay? So you've got one wife saying that he's dead, the other wife saying he's not dead. Says the Mishnah, Zoi Sho'imeres Meis, the one that says he's dead, Tina say she can marry, Vesita Ksubasa, and she can take her Ksuba. We said previously that once we allow a woman to remarry based on her saying that her husband's dead, she can collect her ksuba. So the one who says that he's dead can remarry and take her ksuba. V'zu sho'imeres loimes, the one who said he didn't die, loitina say she cannot get married, loisita ksubasa, nor can she take her ksuba. She said he's not dead, and therefore she cannot remarry. Now, so let's work through this case. This is a case of you have, again, two wives of one man. One claims he's dead, the other one says he's not dead. Now, seemingly we have a contradiction here, right? We've got one saying one saying the other. So it's apparent it's quite clear from our Mishnah that the one who says that he is dead, we know is believed. That's the whole discussion we've been having until now. That the Chachamim, the sages, accepted that as evidence, like two witnesses, to say that he's dead and she can marry. And the other one who is coming is contradicting her, but it's quite clear we're not paying attention to that contradiction. Because we're saying that the first woman, the woman who says that her husband died, she can remarry. She can even go collect her ksuba. So it's pretty clear that what happens, what the Mishnah is saying is that the one who says he's dead is believed, and the one who said he's not dead is not even believed to contradict her. Now, we had a previous Mishnah that says that there were 5 women who cannot testify about a woman to say that she can remarry. One of them was her co-wife. If the co-wife says, our husband is dead and you can remarry, she can't remarry based on that. She can't do that. Now, if I understand correctly, in that Mishnah, that woman, that co-wife, came and her purpose of coming to say the husband is dead was, you can remarry. I mean, I can remarry too. But the whole point here in that Mishnah is, can the other wife, who doesn't know, can she rely on this woman's testimony like she could rely on another woman's testimony? A woman who's not her co-wife, a woman who's not one of the 5 women, if that woman says her husband died, she's allowed to get married. So here, in that case, where one of the women was her co-wife, can she get married just based on what the co-wife says? No, she can't. She can't. However, if I understand correctly, in essence, in this case, right, the co-wife is saying our husband died. The co-wife is going to rely on that to get married, right? Now, we have a contradiction, right? We have the other co-wife saying that he's not dead. But the Mishnah says we don't pay attention to her. She doesn't have the power to contradict. And therefore, at the end of the day, if this woman who says her husband's dead wants to remarry, can she remarry? Yes, she can. Now, once she remarries, once she can remarry, can you say to the other woman, no, you can't? Because it was your co-wife who said so? You can't, that doesn't make sense. Right? If you want to just rely, if the co-wife wants us to rely on her co-wife, that alone to go in and get married, okay, we say, no, you can't rely on that. But if the other one who actually said that her husband is dead, right, she's going to go in and get remarried, right, then the other woman should seemingly have the right to do so. I mean, that's what it would seem. Okay? That's what I would understand. So why in this case does this woman who said the husband didn't die, why do we say to her, you cannot remarry? The answer is because there is a principle. The principle is in halachic terms, it's called Shavia Anavshei Chaticha D'Isura. He put upon himself a piece of Isser. Meaning, if you say that this is Asr, right? If you say it's usher, then for you it's usher. That means even though theoretically or potentially, even though theoretically, it may actually be that from our perspective, from Beis perspective, from the sage's perspective, it's okay. If you say it's not okay, you can't eat it. If somebody says that piece of meat is kosher, right? And we believe a person to say the piece of meat is kosher, and everybody's going to eat from it. And there's one stubborn guy, no, it's not kosher. Guess what? You can't eat it. It's usher for you to eat it. You've made it usher for yourself. Not because you made a neder or a vow specifically, but because you say it's usher. If you say it's usher, that makes it usher for you. So therefore, here on the bottom in the notes, they bring down from the Taisus Yantif that the second woman, the co-wife who said he's not dead, cannot remarry, even though the first one is remarrying, because of this principle. By saying that he's not dead, she's saying that she can't remarry. Okay, so you can't remarry. If you say you're forbidden to remarry, you can't remarry. But the fact that we're bringing in this principle seems to say that, in essence, based on the first woman's testimony, she should be able to remarry. But we say no, because she made herself usher. And how does that exactly work with the previous mission that said the co-wife can't rely on the co-wife? The only way I can make it the way I understand it is that the co-wife cannot just go ahead and rely on what her co-wife says to go and get married. She can't do that. She can't just rely on that. But that's talking about where the other co-wife is not necessarily, going to get married. She's just testifying for her co-wife. Her husband's dead. She's not coming to do anything for herself. She's just coming to allow the co-wife to remarry. That you can't rely on. But once she herself is being allowed to remarry, in essence, it would seem that now the co-wife could marry. If not for the fact that in our Mishna, the co-wife said, hey, he's not dead. And therefore, that's what she's saying. She can't get married. Now, Mishnah continues. Achas emeres meis. One wife says he's dead. He died. Died means he died of natural causes. Va'achas emeres nerag. The other one says he was killed. That's a contradiction, right? The testimonies are contradictory. They're not contradictory in the result, in the end game, but they're contradictory in the story. And therefore, Rabbi Meir says, being that they contradict each other, they can't get married. Now, even though we just said that one co-wife, right, can't contradict the other co-wife. Yeah. We just said that before. So if the first one comes and says he's dead, he died, natural causes, and the other one wants to contradict, she can't contradict, right? We just in the Mishnah before said that the wife doesn't have the power to contradict, right? That other testimony, that wife who's saying he's not dead can't contradict the wife who said that he's dead. So here also that should seemingly follow that even though again they're both agreeing that he's dead, but we should say the second one can't contradict the first one. The first one comes, she is accepted, and the second one can't contradict. That's what would seemingly be according to the what we said in the Mishnah before, and the answer is Rameir is arguing on that. Rameir is arguing on that principle. He says the same way that you can accept her testimony to say that he's dead and allowed to remarry. She has the power. A wife has the power to contradict also, and therefore in this case, since there's a contradiction, no one can get married. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Shimon say. Both of them agree that he's not alive, they can get married. Meaning, the way this is explained is that Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon are the first half of the Mishnah, the first part of the Mishnah, that although a woman can be believed to say he's dead, another wife cannot come and contradict, or another woman can't come and contradict, and therefore, if they can't contradict, what do? We take a look at both of them separately, right? If they're not going to contradict, so then we look at them separately. Each one says he's dead, right? And there's no contradiction. So fine, both of them can get married. That's the opinion of Rabbi Shimon. Okay, final part. Mace. Okay, until now we were talking about the co-wives that were doing this. But now we have a case of one witness says he's dead. The other witness says he didn't die. One witness. Okay? Isha meres meis, Misha meres loy meis. Or again, the fact a woman says he's dead, which would have been accepted as testimony, and another woman says she's not dead, right? I mean, he didn't die. Here we say that his wife may not remarry. Now, what's going on? That's not what we learned before. Before we learned that if the one witness comes and says that she's allowed to marry, and another witness comes, the first one is believed. How come now we're saying she's not believed? We're actually saying that the first witness is contradicted. The first witness said he's dead. The second one says he's not dead. Or the case where a woman came and said, not the co-wife, a woman who is believed to say that the husband died. So one woman says he's dead, the other woman says he's not dead. So we say can't marry. That means they could contradict each other. That's how we had in the Mishnah before. The answer is that this part of the Mishnah is dealing with a specific scenario, and that is the following, which we actually mentioned yesterday. It all depends when the second witness comes. If the first witness comes and testifies, or the woman comes and testifies, or the wife comes and testifies, and that testimony is accepted, and they render the decision she could get married, then the first witness is like two witnesses, and the other one that comes afterwards can't contradict. But if, let's say, one witness comes and says he's dead, but before the Bezdin had a chance to render the halachic decision that she can remarry, the other witness then comes and shows up and says he's not dead, then we say that he can contradict. The only time the second witness can contradict the first witness is if the testimony of the first witness hasn't been fully accepted, which means they haven't rendered a decision to allow her to remarry. But if he comes before that point of time, at that point of time, before the decision has been rendered, the first witness does not have the power of two witnesses. It's 1 and 1. It's two witnesses of the same status that are contradicting each other. And in that case, it will be a contradiction, and she will not be able to remarry. Okay. Afilo bak rechilas, even a dusting of rechilas, indirect rechilas. Gam kinos l'saper b'chol gavni, one is not allowed to say. Va'afilu yamadiber shaloi shemesaper loy masham arpleni alav yesh leishay panim. And even if that which you are telling the person that so and so said this to you can be explained in two possible ways, meaning in a positive way or in a negative way or a derogatory way. If he says it in a way that it's clear that the intention of the person who you're telling him spoke about you, his intention was, you're saying it in a way that you're showing his intention was to put him down, then for sure you cannot go ahead and say it over to the person. That means is that if, let's say, so he says, if you say it over in a way that it's clear that what that person said about you wasn't derogatory, then it's okay to say. But if, let's say, you say it over in a way that actually, leans more towards the positive, but, there is a possibility of just saying it in a way that is possible still to interpret it in a negative way. And the person you are telling this to is a person who is always negative. He will not give the person the benefit of the doubt. He will judge it in a negative way, and he will take it as the person spoke badly about me. Or you already know they're not getting along. And if they're not getting along, anything the guy might say, any possibility the guy might say will upset, what the other person may have said will upset him. In that situation, that again falls under avak rechilas, indirect rechilas, and it would be forbidden to say. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful Chodesh.
Thank you, Rabbi. Good